the pre-stressed concrete member, steel tendons are being stressed in order to induce compressive force onto the concrete so that it can resist the external load at a higher performance. The entire concept of pre-stressing members is on the basis of the pre-stressing load. However, due to the continuous stressing of the member, both essential materials, which are the steel tendon and the concrete, respond in some ways that can lead to the reductions of the pre-stressing load. As a result, the pre-stressing load reduces with time in the pre-stressed member. These reductions of pre-stress is known as the losses, which by the definitions, it is the distance between the initial pre-stress and the effective pre-stress that remains in the member. The losses of the pre-stressing member can be a critical issue as the member may be safe during pre-stressing. However, as time goes by, the losses become significant, and this changes the response of the beam sections to the external load, which may eventually lead to the failure of the sections. For that, we need to design the pre-stressing member and take considerations of the response of the member before and after the losses. You know that the losses of the pre-stressing force can affect the strength of the material, the stress developed within the member, and also may affect the cracking as well as the deflections. The losses will reduce the resistance of the member to the external load. This might lead to excessive deflections and also cracking. Due to the losses, the stress developed within the concrete may also vary. It may initially within the allowable stress limit. However, due to the losses, if the stress falls beyond the acceptable limit, cracking occurs and the member can fail. The figure here shows the losses of the pre-stressing force after a period of time. Initially, this is the pre-stressing force. However, due to the short-term losses, the effective pre-stressing force will be at this level. As the time goes by, long-term losses occur and the final effective pre-stressing force will be at this level. In another word, within the service lines of the sections, the pre-stressing force may fluctuate from this level to this level. The stress level may vary at different period of time. You will need to ensure that the sections needs to be safe within these stress levels. Since that we have mentioned about the short-term losses and the long-term losses, which is represented by the alpha and beta as a percentage ratio of the initial pre-stressing force, we're going to compare the short-term and the long-term losses. This is how it looks like. The pre-stressing force started with the jacking force applying onto the member. However, due to some reasons, there will be short-term losses which occurs almost immediately during the pre-stressing of the tendon and also the transfer of the pre-stress to the concrete member. That means by the time that the jack is being released, short-term losses occur. This will lead to you the effective pre-stressing force after the short-term losses. You know that the pre-stressing force here is actually less than the jacking force. Then, the pre-stressing force is maintained over a period of time and the member is put into service load. After a long period of time, there will be additional losses, which is known as the long-term losses, which eventually leads to the final effective pre-stressing force after the long-term losses. The long-term losses is normally associated with the time-dependent losses occur during the service life of the structure. In short, the short-term losses occur almost immediately when the pre-stressing force is being transferred to the concrete member, and the long-term losses will be the losses due to a long period of time when the pre-stressing members is put into service. The table here shows different types of the short-term losses, which include the elastic losses, frictions and wobble, and also drawing of wedges. The elastic losses is referring to the elastic compressions of concrete when the force is transferred to the member. In another word, it refers to the immediate shortening of the concrete under compressions. The second type of the short-term losses is the frictions and wobble. It is referring to the frictions between the steel tendon and the surrounding duct. And because of the continuous stressing and due to the existence of the frictions, the tendon are in the wobble state, something like vibration, in order to keep itself in the equilibrium state. And the third one is the drawing of the wedges. This is referring to the slippage of the anchor before the full grip of the tendon is established. You know that the anchor is used to ensure that the pre-stressing force maintained within the section, and it is worked against the mechanical interlocking with the beam section. Before the mechanical interlocking takes into the full effects, there will be a minor degree of slippage. This slippage causes the shortening of the tendon, and as a result, losses of the pre-stressing force due to the reduced strength in the tendon. Next, we look into the types of the long-term losses. The first one is due to the shrinkage. The shrinkage is associated to the contractions of concrete due to the losses of the free water. You know that in order to cast the concrete, there will be water in the mix. The water-cement ratios are normally within the range of 0.5, and this water-cement ratio is not fully used for the hydration process, which is the chemical reactions of the cements and water. The additional water-cement ratio will be considered as the free water, and it is normally provided to ensure the workability of the concrete during casting. And this free water will evaporate gradually, and losses of the free water will lead to the shrinkage of the concrete, and this will lead to the long-term losses of the pre-stressing force. Next, we talk about the relaxations, which is referring to the steel. It is basically the losses of stress in steel held at a constant length. When the steel is held at a constant length, its resistance gives way slightly due to the movement of its microstructure, consolidating under high stress, and this leads to the losses of the stress in the steel, which is known as the relaxation. The third long-term losses will be the elastic and creep. This is referring to the shortening of concrete under a sustained stress. When the stress is applied to the concrete over a long period at a constant rate, the resistance of the concrete may also give way. This may also due to the movement of the microstructures of the concrete, consolidating over the high stress, which eventually leads to the losses of the pre-stressing force. Now that we have aware of different types of the losses, 3 in the category of short-term losses, while another 3 for the long-term losses.